Respected viewers, dear family of dreamers, beloved listeners, I want you to pause for a moment and feel the weight of time. Imagine the silent passage of years, each second slipping quietly through your fingers, carrying with it your dreams, your struggles, your fears. Now imagine that with every tick of the clock, destiny whispers a subtle question: will you rise, or will you remain still? Wealth, success. They are not merely numbers in a bank account, they are reflections of patience, of discipline, of a vision so strong that it can outlast the storms of doubt and the tempests of fear. Respected viewers, dear family of dreamers, welcome. Today we embark on a journey that goes far beyond numbers, beyond stock tickers, beyond market caps. We are going to walk together through a story that is as much about courage as it is about commerce, a story of vision, perseverance, and the quiet, relentless accumulation of value over time. And at its heart, we will explore the extraordinary rise of China's tech empire. The giants, Huawei, Alibaba, and Tencent, whose names echo in boardrooms and living rooms alike, yet whose true lessons are deeper than their revenues. Before we reach those towering achievements, we must first remember where every journey begins: in struggle. In the moments of scarcity, when money seems like a distant luxury and the fear of starting is almost paralyzing, I want you to think about the times you hesitated, unsure whether to take that leap into investment, into entrepreneurship, into a path that could redefine your life. You know that feeling, the tightness in your chest when bills pile up, the quiet shame of not being able to provide, the gnawing voice of self-doubt whispering, maybe you're not ready, maybe you'll fail. I have seen many who carry that poverty mindset as if it were armor, believing that limitations define them, that money is something that happens to them, not because of them. Yet, if there is one truth in this journey, it is that wealth, true wealth, begins in the mind. The seed of abundance is planted not when you have $1 million in the bank, but when you dare to believe in your own capacity to grow. When you choose to act despite fear, when you wake up day after day and commit to learning, to experimenting, to failing, and then rising again. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a young mind, bright yet cautious, stepping into the world of business with nothing but determination and a few coins in the pocket. The first venture fails, the second falters, and by the third, there is a creeping despair, the kind that threatens to freeze your ambition. Yet through each failure, there is a lesson whispered softly: patience, discipline, long-term vision. You begin to understand that money is not a sprint, it is a marathon. That delayed gratification, the ability to forego the immediate pleasure for a greater future gain, is not a sacrifice, but a profound form of self-respect. And here, this is where Huawei, Alibaba, and Tencent stories begin to illuminate our path. Consider Huawei. In its early days, a small company struggling to establish credibility beyond its home markets, competing against giants with decades of legacy. Yet, with relentless discipline, the company invested in its people, in research, in patience. Every dollar reinvested, every challenge faced without complaint, every strategic delay. They understood that success is never instant, that building an empire requires the courage to walk through uncertainty with calm persistence. Dear family of dreamers, consider Alibaba, founded in a modest apartment, led by a visionary who endured repeated failures and rejections, who, for years, faced doubt from investors, from society, from even those closest to him. Yet he persisted, because he understood that the true currency of life is vision, and vision, when nurtured with patience and consistency, multiplies beyond imagination. Each setback became a stepping stone, each no a lesson in resilience. And slowly, imperceptibly at first, the foundation of an empire was being laid, and Tencent, quietly building, iterating, observing, turning early mistakes into silent strengths, absorbing the lessons of its predecessors, and moving with calculated patience. They teach us that invisible work, The hours spent when no one is watching, the investments made without immediate reward, is often the most powerful. It is the daily, almost sacred discipline that compounds, like interest on a bank account, invisible yet unstoppable, transforming small, consistent efforts into monumental outcomes. Beloved listeners, let us reflect. How many of us have let fear dictate our choices? How many of us have avoided action because the outcome was uncertain, because the world seemed too vast, too competitive, too intimidating? The truth is, fear is a companion on the road to growth, but it must never drive the vehicle. Courage, patience, and unwavering focus on a long-term vision. These are the engines of lasting success. And every fortune you see today, every towering company, every technological marvel has been built on these very principles. Wealth, my dear family, is also a teacher. It tests your emotional discipline, your ability to delay gratification, your willingness to endure struggle quietly, without public recognition. There is a subtle elegance in this struggle, the deep, soulful satisfaction that comes from knowing that each step you take, however small, is building something enduring, something that will outlive fleeting trends and temporary applause. That is the lesson from these Chinese tech titans. They did not chase fame. They cultivated value. They did not seek instant wealth. They nurtured systems, ideas, and people that would compound over decades. And so, as you sit here listening, perhaps in a room filled with quiet uncertainty, know this: the early mistakes, the failed ventures, the financial anxiety, the fear of starting, these are not signs of weakness. They are your crucible, the fire in which your patience is forged, the trials in which your long-term vision is clarified. They teach you to see beyond the immediate, to trust in compounding, to honor discipline as a sacred practice, and to approach money, investment, and business not as a gamble but as a purposeful, mindful journey. Respected viewers, the road ahead is long. It is not paved with instant riches or overnight success. It is a path that asks for consistency, for silent sacrifices, for the courage to hold your vision when the world seems to doubt it. And yet, if you embrace this path, if you commit to learning from failures, if you respect the power of time and compounding, then you too can participate in a form of wealth that is profound, soulful, and enduring. I want you to pause, take a deep breath, and recognize the quiet power of your own journey. Every challenge you face, every small step you take, every moment of discipline, it is laying the foundation for something extraordinary. And just as Huawei, Alibaba, and Tencent rose from humble beginnings to global prominence, so can your vision, nurtured with patience and wisdom, rise above doubt, above fear, and above the limitations that today may seem permanent. Because, beloved listeners, it is not just about money. It is about purpose. It is about the courage to face the unknown, the wisdom to invest in what lasts, and the patience to see the invisible threads of effort weave into the fabric of success. Dear family of dreamers, I want you to understand this. Consistency is more powerful than inspiration. You can have brilliant ideas, but if you abandon them at the first hurdle, you will never see their full potential. Discipline, emotional self-control, delayed gratification, these are the true currencies of the wise investor. Every dollar invested wisely, every hour spent learning, every failure accepted as a lesson, compounds into something far greater than immediate reward. This is the invisible power that Huawei leveraged, reinvesting every profit into research and development, knowing that the fruit of today's labor may only ripen years later. There is a spiritual dimension to this journey. Beloved listeners, silent sacrifices, missing the parties, forgoing temporary pleasures, choosing the long-term vision over short-term indulgence, these are not punishments. They are declarations of faith in your own potential. Alibaba's founder, for example, endured repeated rejections, long days of uncertainty and skepticism from every side, yet he continued to act as if success was inevitable, not arrogant but quietly confident in the process, trusting time, trusting consistency, trusting the discipline of daily effort. It is often in these invisible moments that character is formed. When no one applauds, when your bank account shows nothing, when friends and family question your path. That is when the wise investor hones emotional resilience, the ability to sit in uncertainty, to continue acting with purpose, to be undistracted by immediate results. These are lessons that no balance sheet can teach. Tencent's rise, for instance, was built on such silent determination. Patience in perfecting social platforms, in understanding consumer behavior, in creating a digital ecosystem that eventually became indispensable. Beloved listeners, I want you to feel the weight of this truth. The world often celebrates the outcome, the IPO, the billion-dollar deal, the viral success, but it is the unseen work that truly matters. The sleepless nights, the careful planning, the failures that are embraced as guidance rather than defeat. These moments, these sacrifices are what transform a business, an investment, and a life into something extraordinary. Huawei, Alibaba, Tencent, they did not become giants overnight. They became giants because they respected the slow, often invisible rhythm of growth, understanding that every small, deliberate action compounds into monumental success. Let us also reflect on mindset. Beloved listeners, the temptation to compare your journey to others is constant. It is a silent thief of joy and discipline. You must learn to anchor yourself in your own long-term vision, to celebrate the small, consistent victories, to trust in your own method, even when results are delayed. This mindset is what allows the wise investor to continue when the market shakes, when competition rises, when doubt clouds the mind. Emotional discipline, patience, and perspective are your shields against distraction and despair. And here is a deeper truth. Success without discipline is fleeting. Vision without patience is fragile. Wealth without wisdom is hollow. The tech giants of China teach us that the invisible, disciplined, patient work, done over decades, often unglamorous and unnoticed, is what creates empires that endure. Every strategy, every investment, every calculated risk was tempered with long-term thinking. Not for fame, not for instant reward, but for the slow, unyielding construction of lasting value. Dear family of dreamers, if you are listening, let this resonate. Your sacrifices are not in vain. Your patience is not wasted. Your discipline is your greatest ally. In the quiet of your daily efforts, when no one applauds, when no immediate reward is visible, you are building something monumental. Like Tencent perfecting its platforms, like Alibaba nurturing ecosystems, like Huawei investing in research and infrastructure. The fruits of your disciplined labor will appear, often in ways that feel mysterious, almost magical, but only to those who have persisted with unwavering focus. Consistency, emotional control, and long-term vision are not abstract principles. They are your tools for mastery. You cannot control the market, the world, or the opinions of others. But you can control your effort, your learning, your emotional response, your commitment to the vision. Each day you honor that commitment, you move closer to the manifestation of the success you seek, not through luck, not through shortcuts, but through relentless, quiet, soulful work. Beloved listeners, know that this is not an easy path. The road of long-term thinking is often lonely. The reward is delayed. The struggles are real. And yet, every moment of patience, every act of consistency, every small, wise investment is a declaration that you are a participant in something greater than yourself. That is the essence of the wise investor, and it is the essence of these Chinese tech empires. And so, dear family, as we reflect on Huawei, Alibaba, and Tencent, we must embrace a mindset that looks beyond instant gratification, that honors silent work, that values emotional resilience, that trusts in compounding of effort, and that cultivates faith in long-term vision. Because in that discipline, in that patience, lies the true power to create lasting wealth. Now, beloved listeners, as we enter the final part of our journey together, let us settle into a deeper stillness. a calm understanding that clarity and inner peace are the true companions of wealth far beyond the numbers or the accolades. Huawei, Alibaba, Tencent. These giants did not merely chase profits. They built systems, cultures, and visions that could endure the unpredictable tides of global markets. And in doing so, they teach us that true success is measured not just in what you earn, but in how you think, how you act, and how steadily you move toward your purpose. Imagine for a moment the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you have acted with integrity, patience, and wisdom, from trusting in the process even when the outcome is unseen, from cultivating discipline when it seemed easier to give up. That is the feeling that every investor, every entrepreneur, and every dreamer seeks, and it is precisely what these tech empires exemplify. The calm assurance that your efforts, done consistently and purposefully, will bear fruit in their own time. Beloved listeners, I urge you to carry this perspective into your own life. Wealth is not an end. It is a reflection of your vision, your emotional mastery, and your commitment to the long term. Every small, consistent action compounds into something extraordinary. Every lesson learned through struggle, every silent sacrifice, every moment you resist the lure of immediate pleasure. These are the true investments that yield abundance, not just in money, but in wisdom, in confidence, and in peace of mind. Take Alibaba, for example. Its founder's unwavering belief in his vision, even in the face of repeated rejection, created an ecosystem that changed e-commerce forever. Huawei's commitment to research and innovation, even when profits were minimal, created global recognition and technological leadership. Tencent's patience in perfecting products before releasing them reshaped social connectivity. Each story converges on the same truth. Vision, when paired with patience and disciplined action, creates enduring results. Results that cannot be rushed, results that cannot be replicated by mere impatience or luck. And now, beloved listeners, imagine yourself with that same clarity and calm confidence, not as a distant dream, but as a lived reality. You understand that the journey is long, that failures are lessons, that patience compounds effort into success, that discipline turns vision into legacy. You no longer measure progress by immediate gain or recognition, but by the quiet certainty that you are moving with purpose toward a life of abundance, resilience, and inner peace. This is the lesson that Huawei, Alibaba, and Tencent offer us beyond their technological achievements or financial milestones. It is a lesson in long-term thinking, emotional discipline, silent sacrifice, and unwavering faith in the value of consistent, purposeful action. They show us that empires are not built in months or years, but over decades of mindful investment in vision, people, and innovation, that greatness requires patience, clarity, and calm confidence, and that the truest form of wealth is the peace that comes from knowing you are acting wisely, consistently, and with purpose. Beloved listeners, as you reflect on your own journey, carry this truth in your heart. Wealth, vision, and success are not about rushing, not about shortcuts, not about immediate applause. They are about patience, discipline, consistency, and the courage to stay the course, even when the world cannot yet see your progress, even when the results are invisible, even when doubt whispers that it may never happen. The wise investor knows that the quiet, deliberate work of today becomes the empire of tomorrow, and so, dear family of dreamers, I leave you with this calm, grounded wisdom. Embrace patience as a friend, discipline as a guide, and consistency as a companion. Trust in the unseen compounding of your effort. Let every setback become a lesson, every challenge a teacher, every day an opportunity to act with purpose. And, in doing so, you will not only understand the rise of Huawei, Alibaba, and Tencent, you will embody the principles that allowed them to transform vision into reality. Principles that will transform your own journey, in wealth, in wisdom, and in peace. Beloved listeners, take a deep breath and feel this moment settle within you. The journey we've walked together, from struggle to patience, from invisible effort to enduring vision, comes now to a quiet, profound realization. Wealth, investment, and success are not just numbers or trophies. They are reflections of character, of discipline, of the courage to stay the course when the world cannot yet see your progress. Consider Huawei, Alibaba, Tencent. Their empires were not built in a day. They were crafted through decades of persistent effort, silent sacrifice, and unwavering faith in a vision that was bigger than immediate reward. They teach us that true abundance is not rushed, that compounding is as much about patience as it is about money, and that the journey itself, full of failures, lessons, and invisible work, is the richest teacher of all. Dear family of dreamers, let this truth guide you. Every small, disciplined step you take today, every thoughtful investment, every moment you resist instant gratification, every choice to act with purpose, compounds into a legacy beyond measure. Let your vision be patient, let your actions be consistent, let your mind and heart remain calm, confident, and grounded, even when results are invisible. And remember, abundance is not just financial, it is emotional, spiritual, and mental. It is the peace of knowing you are on the right path, the quiet joy of watching your efforts grow steadily over time, the clarity that comes from long-term thinking, and the satisfaction of disciplined, purposeful action. Your empire, your life of wealth, freedom, and inner peace can rise from the same principles that built the tech giants of China: patience, vision, consistency, and emotional mastery. So, beloved listeners, step forward with faith in your journey, courage in your discipline, and clarity in your vision. Invest not just in money, but in yourself, in your purpose, and in the quiet, powerful practice of patience. Trust that the seeds you plant today, with diligence, wisdom, and consistency, will grow into a life of abundance, meaning, and inner peace. The path is long, but it is yours to walk. And every step, taken with care, is a step toward a future where your dreams are not distant, but lived, fully, and with quiet, enduring joy.